Hi everyone, it's me, Fatally Flawed Ash, and I am doing this for the love of a red look. That's just what I decided to call it because everything is very red. You do not need to make your brows brown because I went back and I made them red. Of course, I did my brows, I primed my face, I did my carving of my brows, and I did my foundation. Thank you for joining me today for this look. I really appreciate it, and if you like it or enjoy me, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and go ahead and give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either way, it helps me out, and yeah, I appreciate it. Yes, my foundation is too pale for my skin, but I will make it work with some bronzer, and it was kind of the look I was going for. I set my face with some setting powder, and then I went into my LMR Cosmetics bronzer palette and I bronzed my face, and then I used their enhancing shade and added it on the rest of my face, basically where I wanted to highlight everything. And I set my face and I primed my eyes. A lot of the products I'm using in this video are listed for my project pans, and I just started a project pan and I'm excited to find new ways to use some of the products that I placed in it. I'm using that Nikki Tutorials Beauty Bay palette, and I used that red shade in it. This is my favorite red ever, you guys, and I'm pretty close to hitting pan in it, which makes me happy and sad all at the same time. It's my favorite red. So if you know of any dupes, let me know. So I placed it on my eyelid and underneath, and I blended everything out. And yeah, I just blended, and blended some more. I love that Nikki Tutorials palette. I know I don't think it's being made anymore, so you can always just use any red that you have, just a primary red, a true red. And I just did a lot of blending out. Oh my gosh, you know what? When I filmed this video, I set myself up for a challenging editing video. This video was really hard to edit, and yeah, shame on me, lesson learned. So I dust away all of that fallout, and I use a beauty blender to kind of press some of that red into my skin to kind of make it look more melted, I guess. And of course I did some more blending because I really wanted it blended out, and I was kind of struggling a little bit. It was looking, instead of more round, it was looking too shaped like my eye sockets, like a skeleton eye socket kind of thing. So I went into that slasher shade, which is another one of my favorite shades in that palette, and I placed it on my outer V to just kind of deepen things up a little bit. And yeah, I really like that shade too. Again, you can just use a cranberry-esque red. You do not have to use the same stuff that I have. I really hope people understand that you don't need to buy everything that people are showing you to create the same look. You can use what you have and get a very similar vibe. So I took another brush and I used that red shade again, and I used it for blush, which is kind of like a contour blush, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of how I like to do my blush, but when you're using such a pigmented shade and everything, it kind of looks more like a contour, I guess, instead of like a blush or cheek shade. But yeah, I wanted to use that red again. I wanted to keep everything very similar in color colors, and I do have a red blush. I have the Likely Makeup Clown Blush, but it was too dark. It wasn't the same kind of red that I wanted, so I placed it on my nose, and I look like Rudolph, like hardcore Rudolph vibes. I do think the look kind of comes together though, I promise. It is kind of an unusual look and it's not for everybody, but I loved it and I was so confident in it. Sometimes I just have to be me. I used that Beauty blender and I pressed it onto my blush to melt it into my skin and kind of fade some of the pigment. And then I went into my KVD Scarlet Brow Pomade and I made my brows red. And again, you can use anything to make your brows red. You do not need to use the KVD Brow Pomade, and Scarlet, although I do love that brow pomade. It's my #1 favorite. You can use a shadow, you can use a blush, you can use what I would recommend is a red lipstick if you don't have a red pomade, or maybe even a red lip liner or anything like that. But anyways, I felt like my brows needed to be red too. And yes, I am rocking out to some music, so don't mind me. And I added some more blush because I wasn't red enough, obviously. And yeah, just kind of finessing things more. And I guess I wanted a really red Rudolph nose. And yeah, I don't know why I keep adding more red to my nose here, you guys, but I guess I felt like I needed it, and then because I kept messing with it, I was getting it all over my face and kept having to fix things. So be smarter than me. And I now go into that Ivy shade in the Nikki Tutorials palette, and I use it as a highlighter. And I spray my face because sometimes spraying my face before I put on a highlighter helps. It's kind of like spraying the highlighter, but instead I'm spraying my face or spraying my brush. I don't know. Anyways, it's a technique that I like to do sometimes. And yeah, I highlighted the crap out of my face because if you're going all in, you might as well go on in with everything. And I added that Ivy shade in my inner corner to brighten things up. And I threw it on my brow bone because why not? I really am getting some kind of Rudolph vibes now watching this video, but yeah, it's cool. And I guess I added some more red to my brows. I ended up going into that red shade in the Nikki Tutorials palette and placing it on top of that pomade, only because I had already had brown pomade in my brows and they were really dark, so I felt like I needed to help that pomade out some and top it with some shadow. So I really wanted everything to be red. And I'm bobbing my head like a chicken. Okay, that was cool. I am just adding and packing to get my brows the way that I wanted. I did my lashes off camera. I threw on the Likely Makeup lashes. I forgot what they're called, but they're the red ones that Jordy sells. And I threw on some mascara on my bottom lashes, and I also throw on a red lippy for my waterline. Don't do what I do, use an actual red eyeliner, but it's what I had. I threw on a wig. It is not the best wig. It's a Lush Wigs from a Lush Wigs Lucky Dip, but it worked. And I threw on my hat from the Wicked Sister Cosmetics, and I love that hat, and my plugs that kind of went with my whole aesthetic. And that is the finished look. Oh, I did a red lipstick, obviously, too. I used Dose of Colors. Please like and subscribe. Bye!